Sunil Chhetri is a name synonymous with Indian football. Someone who not only became the face of football in the country, but also an icon symbolic with the rise of India as a global sporting giant. Today, the legend took the decision that is very hard for any athlete to take. Sunil Chhetri announced his retirement from international football.
I never thought individually these are the many games that I've played for the country, this is what I've done, good or bad. But now I did it. This last 1.5, 2 months, I did it. And it was very strange. I did it because probably I was going towards the decision that this next game is going to be my last. And the moment I told myself first that yes, this is the game that is going to be my last, is when I started recollecting everything. And it was so strange. Started thinking about this game, this coach, that team, that member, that ground, that away match, this good game, that bad game, all my individual performances, everything came, all the flashes came.
It was a rather emotional announcement that on his social media platform, and while there have been many records that the Indian captain has broken, his biggest impact, his biggest record or contribution to the world of sport has been the inspiration he has lent to not just his peers, his juniors or kids who wanted to take up the sport, but also sports persons across the country. And so when Chhetri announced his retirement, it left many very emotional. Sunil Chhetri's love affair with football began at a very young age. His talent was evident from the start, and it wasn't long before he caught the eye of all scouts. Chhetri made his professional debut for Mohun Bagan in 2002 when he was just 18. He quickly established himself as one of the most promising talents in Indian football, and in just 3 years, he transitioned to playing for the country. The Blue Tigers, as the team was famously called, had found its biggest name, its biggest face, right after Baichung Bhutia. Chhetri's skill, his vision and goal-scoring prowess set him apart from everyone. It's not surprising then that he finds himself in elite company. After nearly a 2-decade-long career and representing India in 150 international matches, Chhetri has 94 goals to his name. He's fourth in the list of most goals scored by an individual for his country, behind two icons of football, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. That's very, very special. And I'll tell you why this achievement is massive. Is because unlike Portugal or Argentina, who can boast of a rich footballing history, Indian football hasn't had that kind of legacy. They are still in the process of building that up. And Chhetri's contribution has been a huge part of that. When he started his career in 2005, Indian football was going through a bit of a transitional phase. Former captain and pretty much the backbone of the sport, I.M. Vijayan and Joe Paul Ancheri had retired in 2003. Indian football had hit a low. They were ranked 128 in the world. And without the likes of Vijayan and Ancheri, the responsibility was now on Baichung Bhutia and a very young Sunil Chhetri. But Chhetri impressed everyone with his skill sets, so that even Vijayan felt he should have delayed his retirement a little longer just so that he could have played alongside the very electrifying Chhetri.
If I had delayed my retirement by at least 1 or 2 years, maybe I could have played alongside Chhetri. I was unlucky. Imagine what Chhetri, me and Bhutia could have done while playing together. It would have been great.
Chhetri had that charisma. He was skilled, of course, but his childlike exuberance, his friendly demeanor made him a favorite amongst his own team and across sporting disciplines too. Well, no one is more smitten by Chhetri than the former India men's cricket captain Virat Kohli. The camaraderie the two share is no secret. Their mutual respect, adoration and love for each other is apparent, especially when they broke the internet during that COVID pandemic Instagram live that they went on, and it was an unhindered, bare-all conversation. This apart though, Chhetri is otherwise a very private person. He does not reveal much of his personal side or his personal life on social media. though we have caught glimpses of it across the years and also now when he announced his retirement.
So when I did decide, I told my mum, my dad and my wife, family first. My dad was my dad, my wife strangely started crying. And I told them, you always used to bug me, and now that I'm telling you that I'm not going to play for my country anymore after this game, they couldn't express to me, will I be sad after this? Of course. The kid inside me, he never wants to stop if given a chance to play for his country, man. This is it. But it wasn't easy.
Do you ever wish a little boy was slightly older
Yes.
to watch and understand what his dad is doing on the pitch?
Yes. I would have loved to walk with him to at least my last game. I would have loved for him to at least see what father did or the way he performed. Thankfully, unlike old times, there'll be videos. But then, yes, I would have loved for him to come and watch his father for the last time.
Now, that'll probably be his only regret, that his child would not see the superstar that Chhetri truly is, especially on the football pitch. He talks of his parents and how they responded when he broke the news to them, and it is no surprise the way they reacted. A lot of the reason why Chhetri took up the sport is thanks to them. It is in the genes. Chhetri's father was an officer and played for the Indian Army's football team, while his mother, Sushila Chhetri, played for the Nepal women's football team. And Chhetri carried on that legacy. No surprises that he went on to be a legend of the sport. His leadership quality is evident as he donned the captain's armband for the national team. Under his captaincy, India achieved significant milestones, including winning the SAF Championship and qualifying for the AFC Asian Cup after a gap of 27 years. His personal accolades, they cannot be discarded either, and there's so much of that, a lot of which has already been documented. They say it's the heroes, the sporting heroes, tried to leave the sport in a much healthier state than it was when they chanced upon it. I don't know if Chhetri would agree to that having happened during his time, but the sport definitely was on its last legs when he stepped in and filled it with the oxygen support that it needed. But Chhetri's story in football is very similar to the ownership of a burden carried by one and one alone. Sure, India has a promising bunch of footballers, we can't deny that, but none quite match the fire, the talent and the zest that Chhetri brought to the sport. And so it became a fight of one against the whole system. Indian football has had some glorious moments during Chhetri's time on the field, but he leaves when things are again taking a dive. Igor Stimac, the coach, is under fire. The last few months and the last few matches alone have left Indian fans in agony. And maybe it is difficult after a certain time to wage a lone war. But here's the thing, he has inspired children across the country, many to dream big and achieve the impossible. And that does not see sporting discipline alone. It's a way to live and fight and realize true potential in any field. That's his biggest impact. Chhetri's decision has marked the end of an era, but he leaves behind a legacy that will be remembered for generations to come.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I will track the election and bring you ground reports. Is it the end of the road for the African National Congress? And will former President Jacob Zuma stage a dramatic comeback? From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.